I used to be one of those guys when I was like 20, 21. I would always want to be getting married. Like, I was always looking for the one, and I thought if I, at 21, I was happy to find the one and to settle down and have kids. And it was very interesting because I got my heart really, really broken, and always pursuing women, and I always put the woman first, and I was always the nice guy, and always get my heart trampled on, and they would cheat on me, or they would treat me like shit and all that kind of stuff. And there was a book that came into my life round about when I met Ronnie, actually. I don't know if it came from you or someone else, but somebody sent me this book, and they gave me this book. It was I think it's called David Data. The Way of the Superior Man. Who's read that book? Okay. So, this is not part of my talk, but since we're talking Secret Men's Book, I reckon this book is the Bible for men. Because there was a particular chapter in that book that absolutely changed my entire life. It changed my relationship with myself. It changed my relationship with women. It changed my relationship with money and in business. And it was a particular statement that really impacted me. It said something along the lines that women are not interested in you. They will not be interested in you if they know that you put them first. And I was like, but that's what I've been doing. I've always been putting the woman first. I've always, checking with them, and I'm the nice guy, and, what do you want to do, honey? Well, we'll do whatever you want, all that kind of stuff. And it continued to say that women are interested in a man, it wasn't exactly these words, in a man who puts his purpose before the woman. That made a huge impact in my life. And when I began to put my purpose before the woman, I can't tell you how many women. And look, I wasn't always as handsome as I am today, right? I mean, there's a few people I've known from before, like Ronnie. Yeah, I used to be 25 kilos heavier. I have this big moon head, and I wasn't the best looking guy. Okay, but when I started to put my purpose before the woman, I started to get a lot of good-looking women into my life, and a lot of fulfilling relationships. It's not just about getting good-looking women. I actually had fulfilling relationships. I would find that the woman would trust me more. And what I read in that book was that the woman is looking for a man that puts his purpose first, because unconsciously, or maybe we'll talk about feminine energy here. Maybe Tom's going to be talking about that later on. But they know that a man that puts the purpose first is a man that can produce with them, a man that can create a family, and it's almost like they can trust that man. So it really impacted my life a lot, and this is from that moment I started to shift everything and make everything about my purpose. My purpose came first, and today that's what I do. Today my purpose comes first. I am single, okay? So I don't know if that still works, but the thing is, I'll be honest. I'm single, but very damn happy, okay? I mean, at this stage of my life, I'm in a different city every single weekend. So, I don't want to say how many relationships I have because they're filming this and the women will watch it later. But I'm very happy, and I'm very purposefully driven in my life. And what I want to talk to you about is a little bit about purpose and how your intuition plays a role in your purpose. I think the greatest mistake that I've made in pursuing my purpose is, and look, some of the things I want to say to you tonight would not be the typical things you're going to hear from a typical presenter. I'm not your typical presenter, or I'm not here to, say the typical things. I'm here to just tell you how it is and how I live, and it may resonate with you or you may push some buttons, okay? But one of the things that I found in pursuing my purpose is the biggest mistake I made was I thought purpose was in what I did. When I began to connect more with my intuition, and your intuition is your inner tuition, everything that I'm sharing about, you already know. Okay? Your intuition already knows. It's not new. Okay? And there's parts of what I'm going to be sharing with you, there's parts of your body, there's parts of your cells, your energy will go, I know this. I know it, and it feels like I've always known it. So the biggest mistake was that I thought purpose was in what I did. It was maybe in what I have. But it wasn't. Purpose was in who we are being. You know, people go, you've got to do what you love to do, you've got to do what you love to do. But it's not what you do that you love, it's who you're being when you do that. When I'm speaking to you right now, it's not the speaking that I love, it's the space that I connect to, it's who I'm being when I'm doing this. So purpose is not found in what you do, it's found in who you are. This is the biggest thing that I realized in the path of, let's call it the path of self-realization, the path of truth. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is I don't want to talk to you about how to use your intuition, because that's boring. Why? Because you probably won't be able to understand it. Like you see, the thing about intuition is that you can't teach it. You know, it's not a learnable thing, okay? Because it comes from a part of you that is not logical, okay? It comes from a part of you that is formless, okay? So the moment I start teaching you about intuition, you understand it, but you won't be able to use it. Because there's a big difference between knowing your intuition and actually being able to use it. So one of the biggest ways that I have brought more purpose into my life is having the ability to follow my intuition. The biggest reasons why people cannot follow their intuition is because the intuition has zero, nil, nada logic into it. It requires no logical explanation. It relies on no logic. That's why they say women are more intuitive. This is not true. Okay, man or women have both masculine and feminine energy. That's in fact what makes us whole and complete, when you embrace your feminine and masculine energy. But women tend to use more of their intuition because they tend to use more of their feelings. I remember sitting down in Bondi Beach, and I'm originally from Bondi, and I'm sitting down in this coffee shop, and these two women behind me were having this conversation. And the reason I started to eavesdrop was because I heard one of them say the word intuition. So I'm not usually the kind that sits there eavesdrop, but in this case I started listening and going, what are they talking about? And this one lady was telling her friend about this huge life-changing decision that she was making. I don't know what the story was because I got involved halfway through it. I wasn't sure exactly what they were talking about, but all I knew, it was a huge impact. I mean, I think she had tears in her eyes, and her friend was like playing devil's advocate and goes, are you sure you want to do this? I don't know if this is the best thing. It's very risky. And her friend's going, yeah, I just know I got to do it. I just know I got to do it. You know what her friend said? How do you know? And she says, I don't know, but I just know. How many times have you said that? How many times have you said, I don't know, but I just know something? Men, hello? Yeah, okay. You do. Sometimes in business, you use a gut feel, and you're like, I know we've got to do this. I know. And maybe your business partner or somebody goes, how do you know that? I don't know, I just know. What you're saying is, I have no logical explanation. I have no logical reason of why I should follow this intuitive feeling. But I just know because I have a feeling of a knowing of to do it. Because your intuition expresses itself through a feeling of a knowing. Does that make sense? So the first thing I wanted to say about intuition is that it is one of the biggest reasons people don't follow it is because it requires logic. People require logic, I should say. People require logical reasons of why I should follow my intuition. But there's no logic in love, is there? You know, I mean, sure, you may attach a logical reason. Well, you know, she's hot, you know, she's probably going to look after me, she's younger, or whatever. You may find a logical reason, okay? But there's no logic in love. And one of the things about love is that love is something in life that finds you. You don't find it. Love is something that shows up in your life. And that's the same thing about intuition. So your intuition is not something that you find, it's something that finds you. I want to give you plenty of references of this. I want to give you plenty of examples of this. In fact, you know, me coming up here right now to talk to you, a lot of the times, you know, Eloise was telling you what I'm going to say, but a lot of the times I don't know what I'm going to say, because what I choose to do is to get up here and speak to you intuitively. Now, one of the things about intuition is that your intuition takes place, or is the voice of the present moment. It lives in this moment. It doesn't live in the past, it doesn't live in the future. So the moment you take your thoughts and your attention into the past, or you take your attention and your thoughts into the future, you're now disconnected from your intuition. Your intuition's still there, but you're not there. Do you understand? Because you're no longer in the present moment. So one of the things that I choose to do when I talk is speak to you intuitively. So what that means is to be able to get up here and share with you insights and from the present moment. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about intuition. Whatever city I'm actually speaking in around the world, I ask this one question. And I always get the same answer. And the question is, how do you plan or script the present moment? And you know what the answer I get is? That. Just silence. How can you plan the present moment?
But you can't.
You can't.
You do.
You can't. You can't plan the present. You can be open. You can be prepared. You can be open to the present moment. You can be in the present moment. You can't plan it. So one of the things about using your intuition is that, I mean, sure, there is still a plan unfolding through you. And again, one of the other reasons for you to be able to use your intuition, I mean, we're talking about to a lot of guys here right now, is because your creativity, your ideas, your solutions come from the intuition. But it all comes from this present moment. And the thing is you can't actually plan it. Let me give you, oh, thanks, Ronnie. Let me give you an example. One of the reasons it's important to be able to follow our intuition, besides purpose, is that when you are following your intuition, things become effortless. Okay, who's ever experienced that? When things just become effortless. Effortless doesn't mean it's easy. You know, whenever I go, you know, things become effortless, they think, oh, what's easy? No, effortless means within you, within your soul, within your spirit, there is an effortless feeling. You know, your intuition or your, let's call it flow. The flow, we've all heard the term the flow. I'm a sporting nut, so I like to refer to sport quite a bit. In sporting in terminology, they call it the zone. Okay, we all know what I'm talking about, yeah? Yep. The zone. I love guys. There's no audience participation as well. The women are like, yeah, yeah. The thing about the flow or the zone, okay, when you're actually saying somebody is in the flow or in the zone, what are you actually saying? You're saying someone is in the present. Someone is in the now. Does that make sense? So things become effortless. Now, you may love, for example, your flow may be to climb Mount Everest. That's what feels true for you. That's what you have a love for. But climbing Mount Everest does not mean it's going to be easy. Does not mean it's going to be tedious. It does not mean there's no risk involved. Does not mean you're not going to break a limb. Or, in fact, you may even die. But what it means is that when you are climbing Mount Everest, there is an effortless experience within you. So please don't mistake what I'm saying about when I'm saying it's effortless. It doesn't mean it's easy. Okay? It means it's effortless for you, inside of you. Your soul is at rest. Your soul is at peace. Your soul is open. It's inspired. So, you know, it is very important to be able to follow your intuition, because the act of following your intuition is what creates the flow. You know, when a football player is playing out in the football field. Anyone know Benji Marshall? Okay, Benji Marshall, one of the greatest football players. And this guy, he does these crazy moves and these crazy flick passes and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, he goes away from the plan. Can you see what I'm saying? The football team have a team plan. But in many cases, when Benji Marshall is in his flow, it's when he's gone, I'm meant to pass the ball on the right, but I'm not going to go that way because I feel instinctively that there is an opportunity on the left, and he flicks the ball on the left and knowing that the player is going to be there. Can you see what I'm saying? It's not gone to plan. I know we're sitting here and we're men and probably a lot of us are in business, and the business plan is very important. Okay? I'm not saying it's not important. The plan is important. But if you want the plan to come from your creative source, if you want it to come effortlessly, in other words, for the plan to unfold within you, it does not take you planning. It takes you being in the present moment and feeling. It's not a thinking process. It's a feeling process. Let me share with you a story. Who here has ever experienced beginner's luck? Put your hand up if you've ever experienced beginner's luck. All right, there's quite a lot of you who have experienced beginner's luck. I want to share with you my story of beginner's luck because it'll give you some reference points. And it was the very first time I ever played golf. I got a phone call from a friend of mine. Who plays golf here? Come on, we're men. All right. I got a phone call from a friend of mine. He goes, Amir, you got to come play golf with us. You know, all the boys, we get together, we play, and the only person who's missing is you. And I said, look, I appreciate your call, but, golf, it's not my thing. And he continues to pursue me, and he's like, yeah, come on, we're going to play again this weekend. Are you sure you don't want to come? And I said, look, man, I really appreciate it, but it's not my thing, golf, but thanks for the offer anyway. And he goes, look, I really know you're going to love this. And he kept pushing me. So I said, how do you know I'm going to really love this? He goes, I don't know, it's just a great thing. It's like, you get out there, it's a real spiritual experience. And right about there, I was on my journey of being, looking for all the different spiritual experience. Someone would tell me, smoke this, it will give you a spiritual experience. Okay, oh, cool. Drink this, it will give you a spiritual experience. Great, So I was looking for the next spiritual experience. And so I said, fantastic, spiritual experience. I'm down for a spiritual experience. I said, but how's it a spiritual experience? And he's like, oh, you're out in the field. Golf is like life. The harder you try to hit the ball, the worse it does. And, even Deepak Chopra's written a book about golf. And I was like, Deepak, you wrote a book about golf and spirituality? Well, all right, I'm down for this. So he goes, look, before we go out to the range, he plays a competition at this club that he wanted to take me out. And he goes, I don't want you to embarrass yourself. I don't want you to embarrass me. So why don't we go take some practice shots? I went, fantastic, let's go do that. So he takes me out to a range. And we rent out 100 balls, okay? Gets the bucket of 100 balls. And, I've got no references about golf. Do you understand? The only references I have is I know you use this stick and you hit the ball, it's meant to go forward. And I've seen that on TV. But I've got no idea. I don't have a plan about it. I have no agenda. I have nothing to prove to him. I have nothing to prove to myself. The only feeling, if I could describe the feeling, was I showed up completely open. No goals, no plan, no how. Does that make sense? Because I've got no references, so I've got no choice but just to show up. So he gives me a ball and he goes, look, here's the ball. I'm going to put the ball down. Why don't you just take some shots and then I can see where you're at and then I can critique you. I go, fantastic, that's great. Give me the bat. He goes, it's not a bat, it's a club. Okay, right, give me the club. So he gives me this club and I line myself up in front of this ball, and I just remember positioning myself there, and like I said, just being completely open. I have no target. I don't know how far the ball is meant to go. I have no plan of, hit the ball this way or hit the ball that way because I've got no references. So the only opportunity I had was to be completely open. So I take a swing and I hit this ball and it goes straight, it goes good distance. And for those who play golf, when you're connected with the ball. Connected with the ball. And all I felt afterward was, this is fun. When you're doing something that's true for you, when you're in the moment, it's always fun. Love's energy is fun-loving. So it was like, yeah, this is fun. This is awesome. And he kind of looked at me and went, do it again. So I went again, lined myself up, hit this ball, it went straight, it went great distance. He looks at me again and goes, do it again. And again, I'm just feeling this is fun. This is a real fun thing. And I'm thinking, maybe I'm going to do more of this. And those are the only thoughts I'm having. But every time I'm taking another shot, I'm not thinking about the shot. There's no thinking process. It's just a feeling process. Why is there no thinking process? Because I'm not thinking about how I'm going to hit this ball. I'm not thinking about how far I should be going. Can you see what I'm saying? So it allows me just to be in my feelings. Take the next shot. He goes even further. It goes great distance. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And he looked at me and goes, mate, you had me on. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you've played before. I said, no, mate, I've never played. This is the very first time I've ever swung a club. And he looks at me and goes, man, you're pretty good. Do it again. So he puts the next ball down. By the time I get to the next shot, I suddenly had, where before I had no thoughts except for the thoughts of the present moment, I had 1,001 different thoughts rush into my mind. I started to think to myself, oh my God, I wasn't even trying before. He plays professional. He thinks I'm really good. Maybe this is my next purpose in life. Maybe I'm the next Tiger Woods. I wasn't trying. Let me show him what I can really do. Like all these thoughts came into my head then. And then I noticed my whole demeanor changed. Where before I would just rock up. There's no thought about it. I'm just taking these shots. Now I'm starting to take my time. I'm starting to think about the shot. I'm noticing that my grip is becoming tighter. I'm noticing that I'm doing these ones. And then I'm noticing, well, last time I got it that far, I'm going to get it even further. So I created a goal around it. Does that make sense? Oh, the ball's still sitting there. And I go, oh, no, it's just bad luck. Give me another shot. He goes, nah, that wasn't bad luck. You just experienced beginner's luck. I go, no, I'll have another shot. Had another shot, the ball just rolls around. Had another shot, the ball slices the right. I couldn't get the shot again. The first 3 shots were amazing shots, and I had 100 balls there. The next 97 balls all just went along the ground. Every single one of them. And I tried harder, and I tried to focus more. The reason you try to focus is because you're not focused. The reason you try to be present is because you're not present. But if you connect to your intuition, to your natural essence, you notice that you already are present. The reason you need to become present is because you're living in here. And what does it mean to be living in here? Always controlling. Those people who are always looking to control things are those people who are most out of control in here. There's no trust with themselves, not with the world, but within themselves. And they look to control the plan.